money. Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Dingbat here, and welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast with my man JoeyShakes with the greatest looking hat I've ever seen him wear. What's up, JoeyShakes?
Doesn't it look good? Doesn't it feel just right? It does.
It does.
How you doing?
Man, I'm tired, man. Today was a busy day, running around and stuff like that. And now I'm in this room, and my kids were cleaning, and I could tell coming from the bathroom they overused too much chemicals because I'm like getting sick, thinking I'm gonna pass out here. But other than that, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself? Doing good?
Yeah, same old dude. Just doing my thing.
Philly Nation, what's up? Andrew from Utah, what's up? Anthony, William, Bleeding Kelly Green, Robert, Chopper, Chris, SJ Scott, Sydney family, Brooklyn Joe. What is going on, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome. We are less than 2 weeks from the draft.
Yeah.
It's been. I mean, we were just talking about it, backstage, but it's been kind of quiet, really. Lately, it almost feels like it's the quiet before the storm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be a bunch of things. It's not much moves are being made. I mean, obviously, I don't think they haven't really acquired anybody, but a lot of rumors coming out with pre-draft visits and maybe some free agents that could be out there for the Eagles that that aren't linked to them, but obviously names could pop up. So
yeah. Tortiville says he's eating authentic pizza from an Italian pizzeria. As long as it's not named something like Clark's or something like that, but that's good. I wish I could have pizza, but my fat ass is on a diet. And dude, I'm telling you what, dude, I almost went and lost my diet today because I woke up like this week. Like last week, I had like a really good week, and then I weighed myself this week, and it was like I only lost like 0.2 pounds, and I was like, I'm going to Taco Bell. I'm eating all the mother humping Nacho Bel Grandes a man can eat today. Yeah, I was so frustrated.
But a cheat day, bro. I mean,
I hung in there. I my wife talked me down off the ledge, so but I was kind of pissed off, frustrated. I did too much work for that to be the case. Wizard says, go Birds regardless. I see a lot of draft fives in here.
Yep.
Absolutely 100%. Ohana says, what's up, Joey at 500? Did you guys watch the Sixers' nice performance by Harden and the team for love of Philly? I watched it. Yep. I watched the game. Yep. Harden was legit. He showed up. It was nice.
I didn't get a chance to watch it and have time yesterday. I'll catch next.
I watched it and then hit it out right after that. Yuri says, Philly, do you think the Eagles take a safety at 10? I do not think that they take a safety. Like, we talk a lot about how they don't like running backs in the first round. Did you guys know that the Eagles have never drafted a safety in their history in the first round? Ever. So, I can't see it happening at 10. I just can't,
No, definitely not.
Well, I don't know if that was his draft 5. Absolutely. Gentleman says, Peter Skwanski is on the board along with Paris Johnson Jr. and Bijan Robinson at 10. Who y'all taking? I'm taking, if it's up to me, my answer is Bijan Robinson. But that doesn't mean I think that's what the Eagles are going to do. But I'm taking Bijan.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, and I know everyone's talking about an offensive lineman at 10. Like, I honestly I think it's possible, but I don't think they go too far up there. Like, you have a really good offensive line coach, and I think there's a lot of prospects out there. Especially you draft somebody really early at 10 that's not even going to start. It's what I mean. I feel like they could do a little bit. I feel like they don't have to reach so high for an offensive lineman in this draft. So,
I love Jay Koch, but I don't think so. I can't agree with you there, man. I'm sorry. Dude, I love you, but I can't agree. I do not think Bijan is a equivalent of Bryce Brown.
No.
No, I can't do it, man. I can't go with you there. If I thought that, I would never even bring his name up. The only reason I bring up his name is because I think he's that much better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garrity says, "Yo, 500 Nolan Smith." I like Nolan Smith a lot. I just think that 10's too early for Nolan Smith. I mean, I think he's got a lot of upside, a lot of talent. But, you know, I think 10's too early. If you really want Nolan Smith, I think I see him like in the 20s, you know. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it's kind of the same thing?
Yeah, no, I think he's a late first rounder. He might not. Who knows if someone even takes a chance of him in the first? He could slide depending on certain positions that get drafted. He could slide down a little bit further than we expect. So you never know.
Yeah. Tortiville says the only chance the Eagles have of drafting Bijan is if Lurie orders Howie to do it. I don't think Howie would do it if he has the choice. Well, let me ask you this, Tortiville. I mean, for the most part, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I think me and Joey both, you know, people have to understand. And you know what's going to happen after the draft. If they don't draft Bijan, we're going to be like, you guys predicted they were going to draft him and they didn't. No, we never predicted that. We've never said we thought they were going to draft him. We said we believe they should. That's our opinion. We don't necessarily, I don't think the Eagles probably will. However, I will say this, just for an argument to Tortiville here. We know that the Eagles were going to draft Christian McCaffrey at 14. They even tried to move up to take Christian McCaffrey. So if they thought enough of one running back, then isn't the question not whether they would take a running back or not, but the question is how much do they think of Bijan Robinson? And that we don't know.
Yeah, and they only used Miles Sanders because he was part of the Doug Peterson era. So I mean, this could have been, like Nick could have just changed running backs, but obviously he was already, Miles was already in the system. I mean, look at the Super Bowl. I mean, look Miles did. He did nothing in that Super Bowl. What did he do? The third and short couldn't get that. The screen pass, he almost fumbled that. You know what I mean? He was a non-factor in the Super Bowl. And I think we got to look a little closer at this and say, yeah, you can go to the third, fourth round if you want to get a running back. And obviously if they get other, mid-round picks, that's what they want to do. But not only is Bijan going to help this team put more points on the board, but it takes pressure off Jalen Hurts where he doesn't have to get hit every single play. And to put Boston Scott at special teams full time, even with Rashad Penny and Gainwell, if Bijan's in that mix, leave some tread on Bijan's tires after this year. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to run the crap out of him this year. Just try to, at least the right, big pause. I don't know what I said, but I'm not
going to leave some tread on that tire. You know what I'm saying?
That's not bad to say. So I'm saying this, like, you don't, in a rotation just for this year, I'm perfectly fine with it. And then going into next year, then you start to, run him a lot more. So
Yeah, and the real fan, he asked a great question, and a lot of people have brought this up. Why take a running back at 10? Have we not learned anything from the Giants and the Cowboys? And here's what I'll say to you. It is a completely different situation than the Giants and the Cowboys. Those teams were actually rebuilding. And to be honest with you, Dallas actually had Romo. They didn't know they were going to Dak Prescott.
Right.
I would say Ezekiel Elliott, especially early on, it was not a pick that the Cowboys regret making. He made a huge difference for that team. They were the number one seed, I believe, that year, Dak's rookie year, and it was because of Zeke Elliott. He carried that team. So it's if a team is ready and they're on the verge of Super Bowl, and you're just talking about plugging a guy in, I just think that's a different situation than like the Giants, who are rebuilding a team, a bad team who's years away. I don't think it's the same situation.
No, it's night and day. Like, this is the best team in the top 10. Like, and I think this is a better situation from even when Ezekiel Elliott going to the Cowboys. I think the whole entire offense is better. And I think you got to take advantage of, what you have that's still intact right now. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown ain't going to play together for a long time. Like, there's changes will be made in a couple to a few years, but a lot of people, I don't know how you think about this too, because a lot of people are like, do you still draft a running back in the top 10? Even if you're the best team, if you're not going to give this running back a second contract, is it worth drafting him
It's a
in
great
the top
question
10?
to me, and to me, this is the best argument to why not to draft him. Really, that somebody can make to me. However, the way I look at it is because you're going into Jalen Hurts' prime years, and you're going to be in the prime of his contract, and you want to sign guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You got contracts coming up. To me, I think it is worth it. I mean, Jalen Reagor, he didn't get a second contract. Andre Dillard, he didn't get a second contract. These guys don't get second contracts sometimes because they don't pan out. Maybe he pans out, but if we come away with the Super Bowl in those 5 years, then I think it was worth it.
Yeah, 100%. And plus, you're not, even if you don't pick up the 5th-year option or whatever the case may be, even after Bijan's contract, they might just tag him because it's going to be cheaper. It's probably be cheaper to tag him than really sign him to a long-term deal because nobody wants to sign running backs to long-term deals right now. So.
No, and I don't either. I would never. I mean, I don't remember ever wanting a running back in the first round ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Ricky Williams coming out, and I was like, okay, I'll be glad if they get him or a quarterback. But I was more in the middle of the Eagles could do anything. I wasn't really on that hype train. This is the first time only because of the situation that we're in,
Right.
But it's going to be interesting. The other thing that I really wonder about this team is if you look at where they've allocated all their funds, it's defense on the defensive side of the ball. They have spent all their free agency money except for one position on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You get Lurie who comes out and says, "Hey, the offense is our bread and butter. That's what we care about the most." And then you go out there and you go a whole off season and you do nothing on offense. That to me that's a warning sign, or not a warning sign, but in my opinion, that's a sign that the Eagles are going to do something offensively in this draft.
Yeah, and necessarily it might not be a running back. It could be a tight end. Whether it's, not at 10, but it could be a tight end, a backup tight end. That could be maybe the future. Goddard's contract. Who knows? They might want to bring another weapon in and kind of maybe phase out Calcaterra install. Could be a wide receiver. They've been looking at a lot of wide receivers. I haven't covered too many wide receivers, but I know they've been looking at a lot of guys for that number 3 spot. Maybe add a guy there in competition with Quez, and pre-draft visit wise, they haven't really brought in any other running backs besides Bijan. So, they really haven't brought in any.
No, they talked to Gibbs at the combine, but they never brought him in.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder. Listen, the one thing is no matter what happens, it won't surprise me. But I really wouldn't be surprised. And I know a lot of people get mad, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them hit the offensive line in this draft.
Yeah.
Because you possibly need a future right tackle. And if you have somebody like Paris Johnson Jr. who could play guard for 2 years until Lane retires, why not do that and put him in right away? You see what I'm saying?
If you draft Skoronski, are you kicking him in right now? Are you just starting him?
I see, the reason I don't think they're going to take him is because I think he's going to end up being a guard his whole career. Right. So I think they don't want to take a guard at 10. But I do think Paris Johnson Jr., he can play guard and he's played tackle. So
true.
To me, they may look at him as a guy. I can't. That's why I don't think they're taking Spansky. I think Jalen Carter is the apple of their eye at 10. I think they would love to get Jalen Carter, and that's what they're hoping will happen.
Right. Right.
Collins says, I think they're acting as if they're not interested in Bijan Robinson. They're taking him definitely. Wouldn't that be something? Man, I'll tell you what.
What is the trend right now? What's the biggest trend for the Philadelphia Eagles? Every time you turn the TV on, every time you look on the internet, what's the one thing that pops out about the number one trend?
The thing I see the most is why the Eagles will not take Bijan Robinson.
Right.
That's the only thing I hear when I turn. Why the Eagles won't? Why it's stupid the Eagles forget it? Or that's all I hear. I don't hear anything else. And as my man Dad says, I think he's going to chat shop to him. He's like he texts me. He's like, Philly man, I'm in the war. This is warfare, man. I'm beaten up. I'm lost the arm in this battle for Bijan. To me, that's been the most prevalent thing is that they're not taking a running back. And I don't predict them to take a running back.
True.
We're not saying we didn't do all this because we predicted they're doing it. We do it because that's what we want. That's where our heart is.
Fun. Right.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Let's see here. But I gotta think. I gotta think that they're going to do something. I gotta think Howie's got some sort of plan. Like I don't feel like you have a team that goes to the Super Bowl and you're on the verge of winning, and then to just go out and have an off season and not really do anything to get you in a position to go back there. They haven't really fortified that. You know what I mean? Like they're contenders. They'll be contenders in the NFC, but I don't feel like there's been anything really truly immediate to be like, this takes us to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Not just signing Penny and signing, Scott again. I mean, it doesn't really shore up anything really offensively.
Yeah. Yeah. Eagle fan for life says, like the MVP says, trust the process. Absolutely. Absolutely. House Nelson says, I'm paying homage to the one and only King Dingbat 500 when I say that. I should clarify. Oh, I missed what you said, but it's nice that somebody wants to pay me homage instead of attack me. That's kind of cool. I like it. I'll be happy when the whole Bijan thing's over because the amount of nasty emails and DMs that I get from people over it, it's like, wow. People are actually unsubscribing. People are really, I mean, you can't even have fun during this time. Like, this is a time of excitement, speculation, rumors. That's what this shit is all about at the end of the day. And people just take it to the next level. And it's like, just have fun with it. Yeah,
like,
me and Joey share mean DMs and stuff at night. I'm like, look at this guy. He's like, I hope you're legless, Philly 500, you fat pig. I hope you go legless, Antonio, who says, I see everyone who gets cut or asked for trade. Eagles are landing spot, everybody. The Eagles, and we've dealt with this before, Antonio Holmes. Every time there's somebody out there, there's always reports where the Eagles are a landing spot because Howie is involved in everything. He calls about everything. He's always involved. So when these reports come out, a lot of times it's because teams have actually talked to Howie because Howie doesn't miss anything. Right. Now the big rumor last night, and I had a couple of requests for videos for this, was the Buda Baker. Buda Baker requested a trade. Buda Baker would like a trade. I don't think the Eagles can afford to go out and trade for Buda Baker personally, because he wants to be highest paid safety. But from just a team standpoint, adding him, I would absolutely love to add him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's got a 16.8 cap hit for this year and a 17.9. So he's got like $18 million cap hit next year. He's getting paid $14 million these next 2 seasons. So I don't expect that move to even happen.
Now I will say this: if you look at it from the Arizona standpoint, right? Like, let's say they were to trade him, okay? If they were to trade him like pre-June 1st. They would actually save $9.3 million of cap space, and then they would save $14.2 million. But that's pretty much what you have to take on if you're the Eagles. And the Eagles aren't, I can't see them doing that. You know what I mean? So I it's a nice thing. I did a video on it because I had 3 requests. Usually, if I get 3 people request the same video, I always do it. So if you ever want to trick Philly 500 into doing a video, pretend you're 3 different people. Then I'll do it, because if I get 3 requests on the same video, I always do it. That's like my kind of rule of thumb.
Right.
Daz, what's going on, buddy? He says, Winston Hurts was pretty. Hey, Daz, man, how's the warfare going? You hanging in there? Freddie says, thoughts on Dalvin Cook being cut? Would he want to be here in Philly? Did Dalvin Cook get cut?
No, there's talks that if they don't work out anything with him, he's going to leave. So he could be cut. There is rumors that he could get cut right now. Yeah.
Well, think about this: if you were to go out and Dalvin Cook would get cut, you're going to get people who are going to scream to go out and sign Dalvin Cook, right? They're going to scream to sign him. Yet they'll be against drafting Bijan Robinson.
Right.
When Bijan Robinson would be younger and way cheaper because Dalvin Cook is going to make top 10 money at least at that position.
Yeah. It makes no sense. No.
So, to me, I'd rather draft a running back. Seth says Keith Byars was the last running back the Eagles drafted in 1906. That's right. Yeah, Keith Byars was the last. Yeah, I think when you look at the draft, I think you look at 10. I think that the guy is Jalen Carter. I mean, that just makes so much sense, right? That the Eagles would want him.
Yeah, I mean, now it's since he doesn't want visits outside the top 10, so it looks like Seattle's already had a visit now. It looks like the Raiders are going to have a visit after saying that, the news came out that they want to stay away from him. Potentially, you could be losing him. I mean, I think they have to trade up. I don't think they could sit at 10 and be comfortable getting Jalen Carter at all.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, I would love Jalen Carter.
Somebody put out a report the other day on the Jalen Carter situation. Oh no, who was it? I don't know if it's Pat McAfee. I forgot. I have to go back. But somebody put out a report that I think it was Schefter. He put out a report that he called. There was a lot of calls to Georgia and being linked to the Eagles and how this would work, and why would the Eagles be a good spot for him to go to. Hearing that there was a lot of rumors about Jordan Davis was like really tight with Jalen Carter, that he was like his medium. He was his, the yin and yang, he calmed him down. They were really close and kept Jalen Carter on really good behavior, especially in college. And I think he was a huge factor in his behavior and becoming the person that he is. And, so that's what I read. I mean, I think the Nakobe Dean stuff and obviously Jordan Davis being here. I mean, we brought in Carter on a visit. So not only do you get information from Jalen Carter of just who he is as a person, but you get this other information from guys that he's played with and those two players, which probably makes a big difference too, and get some insight, about Jalen Carter. So, I mean, that's pretty cool to see.
It's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. I think Carter would be a perfect fit. But we did see him go visit Seattle last week, and then he visited the Raiders. Now, the thing with the Raiders was that everybody said that the Raiders had taken him off the draft board, but then they go and have a visit, so that's not true. So I mean, it just seems like Jalen Carter is going to go early, and that's what I'm afraid of. So, if you kind of do this in your head, and you have Jalen Carter gone, Will Anderson Jr. gone. I think Christian Gonzalez is going to – I think Detroit's going corner. I mean, I don't think that they traded what's-his-face away to not go corner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, by the time the Eagles pick at 10, if they're to stay at 10, who's going to be there? To me, there's only one guy.
Do they really skip on Bijan? Or if they skip on Bijan, they're probably going to trade back to get a mid-round pick. And I don't know. So Tony Pauline was interesting the other day because Tony Pauline actually last year's draft, he had a lot of insight on the Cam Jurgens pick that the Eagles really liked Cam Jurgens. This year at 30, he's hearing buzz that the Eagles really like that defensive end Adebawore from Northwestern.
Have you watched
really like that guy.
I spent about a half hour watching one of his games yesterday. He looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks
he's got a lot of upside, man. But here's the thing, and that's a great, interesting point. If they take him at 30, then to me that increases. If they're really looking at getting him at 30, to me that increases the likelihood a lot that they're going offense with the first pick.
Yeah.
I take that as, well, if they're going to go defensive line at 30, where are they going to go at 10? If they're going offense. That means to me, that means we got a shot at this thing, baby.
Yeah, I got a shot. Yeah, the first three picks, I feel they're getting two offensive guys, the first three picks.
I think so. I think two of the first three picks were offense, too. I agree. Because, and I'm just simply basing that on the fact that where they've allocated their funds and stuff. At some point, you have to address the other side of the ball. Yeah. You can't just ignore it, I also think there's a likelihood that, and I did a video on this yesterday, that Will Levis is going to be sitting there at 10, and he's going to be on the board at 10. And somebody is going to want to come up and take a quarterback, and they are going to be willing to pay big time. And if you actually look at the last few picks where around the 10th pick was traded for a quarterback, teams have gotten a lot. Mahomes was one of those moves.
So let me ask you a question. So say there's a team trading up to 10 to get Will Levis, right? And
Right.
do you charge them more knowing what they're really? That's how it goes, just like that. I honestly thought it was really like if you were depending on how far you are back, you would give up more. The further back you are.
Yeah. There's a whole way that they do this, right? But they also look at precedents, like of what trades have happened similar for positions. You know, quarterbacks make those spots way more valuable, right? So I'm going to read you a little something. This was from the article that I based my video on, right? But here's what they said. They said the recent quarterback trade-ups around the 10th pick tell us a few things. One, teams pay considerably more when their signal caller is on the board, and it should net the team trading back at least a future first-round pick. Chicago gave up a future first-rounder, a future fourth-rounder, and a sixth-round pick in 2021 draft to move up 10 spots for Fields. In 2017, the Chiefs gave up a future first and third-rounder to climb 17 spots for Mahomes.
Wow.
So if somebody wants Levis and is willing to come back and say, we'll give you a first-round pick next year to the Eagles, depending upon who the team is, I think you've got to do it.
Yeah, I think you do.
But you can't go back, you can't go back past 24.
No.
Like, you can't go past behind the Giants and the Cowboys.
No.
But, I mean, that could be something that we got to keep an eye on, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's hard not to take that. I mean, with 4 comp picks already next year and an extra second-round pick, man.
Well, think about this. All of a sudden, let's say you trade back and you get an extra first-round pick. You have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 3 thirds, right? A couple fourths. All right? So you have all that going into the next year's draft. So you mean to tell me after all that, you still have 2 picks in this first round. You can't take Bijan Robinson then? And still not a good time?
I'm telling you.
I mean, come on. At some point, it's just the right move. Tyree, thank you for super chat, my man. Appreciate it. He goes, 500. I know you love conspiracies. Eagles make it to the Super Bowl. And when we have a big signing and a strong safety unit and a heavy rotational running back room. I like it. I think that that definitely could happen. Definitely. I'm all about it. I think that's the way we go.
Hell yeah, I would take it.
And thank you, Tyree, for a super chat, man. We appreciate it. What's going on with you, Jay Koch? Man, Jay Koch is they're fighting in there, man. You guys are funny. I don't know what they're fighting over, so I can't join in. You know, our first pick is defense. Got to know that. I mean, most likely. But you know, what if I don't know. What if the best player on the board is an offensive lineman at 10 and you have to stay at 10?
Is there an offensive lineman over Bijan?
Not in my book, but okay. I don't know how the Eagles are. I think I have Bijan 3. Because I look at him as the third best player the Eagles could draft in this draft. And the reason I say that is because I don't think that there's anybody that is going to be more impactful than him, except for maybe Carter and Anderson.
Right.
You know, because I'm looking at it from 2024. What are we going to do in 2024? Jason says, yo, Philly 500, you ever think about trading Cox? I don't think they will trade Cox because they only got him to a 1-year deal at this point. What are you really going to get for him? The only way he would get traded is if the Eagles were horrendous and they were just trying to get him to a team to have a run, you know?
Do you think like $10 million was like way too much?
What?
Do you think $10 million is way too much for him that really can't like play on a big, like he needs like a huge rotation?
I think it's okay. I think it's decent for this year because you're getting $10 million for a guy that had, 7.5 sacks last year. I still think that he could play. And the guys like Hargrave are like in a $20 million range. So I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Tyree says, Philly 500, love Cox too much to let it go. Thanks. I love Cox too much. Fletcher Cox, that is.
Fletch.
AK Eagles podcast. Where you been, man? Ain't seen you in a while. What's happening, man? He goes, yo, what's good, 500? And good, Joey. Hope all's well, guys. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Let's see. Ohana says, which would surprise you guys more? Drafting Witherspoon at 10 or JSN at 10?
JSN, no doubt. Wide receiver.
I'm going to say Witherspoon. Because I'm going to go back to the idea that the Eagles need to do something on the offensive side of the ball. The thing with Witherspoon, I like Witherspoon, by the way. I like him a lot, right? I like him. I like Gonzalez. But to me, it's just like those guys, you draft those guys, what are they going to do this year? They're not going to play. Where are they going to play? They're not going to play a whole bunch. You know what I mean? They're not going to replace Slay or Bradbury this year.
I take into the fact that because if they draft, I'll be more surprised at Witherspoon because if they draft a cornerback, like you said, like the guy's not going to start, and then it's kind of like a redshirt year for a guy that should be on the field. And for JSN, it's more, I know it. The more surprising, it's for me, it's the more surprising pick, even though it is offense. But for a first-round receiver, I'd be kind of shocked just a little bit for a first-round receiver. Yes.
Yeah. Terry says that safety City Brown from Illinois is a monster. We can get him in the 3rd round. Yeah, I think that's the perfect area where the Eagles would draft a safety, anyways. Larry Gasser says, do you think if Jalen Carter isn't there, Howie could open to Nolan Smith with the 30th? I think so. I think the Eagles probably Nolan Smith. I could see the Eagles even trading back and going back to 18, 19, 20, and then taking Nolan Smith. I could see something like that. The one guy I like Nolan Smith. I'm not going to be upset if they take Nolan Smith, but that Lucas Van Ness guy, I don't want anything to do with him. I see Mike Mamula written all over him.
Nope.
I
don't want to be near that guy.
No, me neither. We got 406 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. If you do the channel, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being here, though. Seriously, we know that there's a lot of stuff you could be doing on Saturday nights, and maybe even some of you could be talking to girls. Go talk to girls. But we're glad that you're here before you. If maybe you need to get some guts to talk to boys. Kids don't talk. They don't talk to girls nowadays. You know that. Like I couldn't live here. You know what I mean?
So the Jalen Hurts contract, there's rumors. I heard it was like a 6-year, $345 million deal. Rumored to be, it's supposed to be we've talked about it being very cap friendly. And I think in all seriousness, it's going to be where the Eagles, I'm so glad that Hurts is not going to strangle this front office and this organization too much on his contract, and they could just move money around every single year just to free up cap space. So I don't know when we're going to get this. I'm hoping I was hoping before the draft, but it might not even be before the draft. It could be right after. So,
but you're looking at what, 10 years,
6 or 7.
He's going to structure it in a way. I mean, this is where you're going to find out what Hurts is made of, because this is something that, Brady took less money to play. Mahomes set it up in a way too. He's setting it up in a way where they're going to have the flexibility to put a good team around him every year. That to me tells you so much about Jalen Hurts and the kind of quarterback he is. It's a beautiful thing. We're lucky we have him, dude.
I know.
And that's what excites me so much about this team. That's why I think. That's why I get excited when I think about, man, if you put Bijan around him and look at the talent that this guy would have. How do you stop the Eagles with Bijan Robinson, Jalen Hurts. You're not even going to know how are you going to stop them in the RPO? How are you going to stop it?
Right. Like you talk about the Cowboys or with Ezekiel Elliott, like when Dak Prescott, or at least when Dak started playing, he was more of a runner before they, because he really hasn't been a runner in a while.
Zeke?
No. I'm talking about Dak.
The
helping.
Zeke. Zeke's been an eater.
No, I'm saying the helping of Dak being a runner with a running back like that was they were unstoppable with that offensive line. Like just imagine. It wouldn't be fair, man. The league does not want this to happen.
No. Member for 28 months of Dingbat Nation, man. Shout out to you, man. Says love you all both, man. We appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, it would be sick, dude. It would be awesome. It's going to be crazy. Let me see here. Where did Joey go?
I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. AK Eagles podcast says, I think we'll eventually end up moving back a little to our first two picks. In the first will be Branch, the safety from Alabama. Then we'll take BJ Ojulari, and we end up taking Charbonnet in second round. I know people like Zach Charbonnet. I'm not sold, dude.
No?
I think he's got nice size, but pause. Big time. You like
BJ Ojulari?
I tell you what, dude, I like Devin A-Chain.
Oh, that
I know he's not the biggest guy, but oh my god, dude. I love that kid because you could put him right in and put him in special teams. Can you imagine to have a guy who can return kicks? That's
the problem I have. Like guys like Tank Dell and guys like a Kane, like those guys that are like really small, like for special teams, it's great. Like I don't know if Kane's gonna be drafted. He might be undrafted. Who knows? So the Eagles could pick him up. They need some competition.
I tell you, you want to know a running back that I like, and maybe it's because I've watched every game they played last year. But Rashawn Johnson, the backup of Bijan, I think he's got a ton of talent. And he reminds me of Miles Sanders in that he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on him. He could be a guy that you bring in the mid rounds too. I like him a lot, dude.
You want to draft a guy that's closest to Bijan,
right? No. I just see it. I think it's because I've just watched. I went back. I've watched all their games. So, but I think the kid's got upside, dude, and he hasn't played the position long.
No.
Let's see. Jason says, you think losing Sayamalu will F us on Bijan and force us to go offensive line at 10? I think it could possibly force us to go offensive line, but I don't know if it will be force us. I really believe that if Howie has Bijan ranked higher, I don't think he's skipping him. A lot of people think, it's a no-no, the Eagles will never do it. I think if Howie really likes the kid to the point where he liked Christian McCaffrey, I think he'll do it. So, I don't think so, but I do think the offensive guard is a hole because we don't know what if Jurgens will be ready to move over to guard. Do we really know that? I mean, I think they'll be able to.
If they draft an offensive lineman, if they draft a guard at 10, he's starting over Jurgens. I think we could probably safe to say.
And that's the one reason why I wouldn't be upset because I can totally understand. You're getting a guy to come in and you're putting him in and he's playing and contributing right away. I can deal with that. It's not what I want, but I can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Transfat, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. Says just got back to work after 3 months out with seizures. Oh man, finally found out it was epilepsy. I'm on medicine, no seizures since. I love the Eagles and God. I feel blessed when I wake up. Life is precious.
It is.
Amen, man. Life is precious. Man, that's crazy. I'm sorry you were dealing with those seizures, but I'm glad that they found out what it was, man, and I'm glad that the medicine's working, man. So keep us updated, man, on how you're doing and stuff.
Definitely.
But it's good. It's good to see you, man. Thank you for super chat. Yeah, I think Jurgens will play right guard too. I don't believe they'll take a guard at 10 if they believe he's going to be a guard forever. I believe they'll take somebody to play guard and then eventually move out to right tackle.
True.
But I don't know. That's the one reason why. What's it? Skwanski. That's why I think he might not. They might not take him.
Right.
You know, man, what are you guys fighting about? Tortiville says, I have a feeling that Howie wants offensive tackle Roderick Jones from Georgia. Check late rising first round prospect. Check total Howie move. Now I'll say this: if Howie's going to go offensive lineman at 30, then I think that he's going defense at 10. Whatever they do at 30, if you tell me they're going defense at 30, I'm going to say they're going offense at 10. If they're going to go offense at 30, I'm going to say they're going defense at 10. I think the first two picks are offense and defense. The second round pick is going to be offense.
Oh, even like you're talking about offensive linemen, like if they're not going to get a guy that starts right now, I mean, they're looking at guys down the line. Like even today, that was reported. Even they're looking at like, Braden Daniels from Utah. That's been one of the most most highly athletic tackles in college football that they think they could bring along, and Stoutland can mold him into something really good. For the future. So I like I said, it depends. If it's 10, they're starting him. If it's down the road in this draft, whether it's late first or, second, third round pick, I think you're drafting a line between 1 to 3, between first and the third round. So
yeah. Oh man, you guys are crazy. I see one guy's asking me but I read it wrong, so I know what he's trying to say now, and it wasn't a real name. He was obviously trying to get me to make a comment on something. So I was like, remember that I said Bijan at 8? You think Bijan at 8? Okay. Okay. AK Eagles podcast. Are you guys opposed to moving from 10 if Carter or Wilson fall to 5 or 6? If Carter falls to 5 or 6, I think you've got to try. Not Wilson. I like Wilson, but I'm not moving up for him. So Carter, I move up for. Wilson, I don't move up for. There's only 2 guys I move up for: Anderson and Carter. And Carter. That's it. Yeah. I'm not moving up for anybody else. Oh, Marcus Smith stunk. He stunk.
Derek Barnett, dude, what the fuck? What is
Clarence? Like? Clarence, he tried to get. I read, because I can't read. I read it wrong in my head, and it said exactly what it was supposed to say. So yeah, you could try. I give you that one. You almost got me. And I was thinking, who the hell's that? Gandalf the White Davis super chat. He goes, I saw an article. It said the Eagles have contacted the Commanders since they've been sold. The asking price for Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Why would the Eagles? Why would Washington trade Sweat or Young to the Eagles, even if they're selling the team? I don't understand what. That hurt the value of the team?
I haven't even heard that, but I don't know.
I haven't heard that either. No, I haven't heard that either. Tortiville says, I don't think the Eagles could trade up higher than 7 with their limited picks. Most teams are going to want this year's pick versus next year's picks. Yeah, I don't know how far they can get up. You have to use that second round pick next year, and you have to have somebody willing to do it. I think 7 or 8 is possible. I think that's possible.
Same, yeah.
Jonah says, what are your thoughts on running back Gibbs? Jamar Gibbs, I think he's the most explosive back in the draft. I think he's the best receiving back in the draft. I really, really like him a lot. I do. I think he's going to be very good. But, I don't know. I would say I would say that if he's there at 30 and Bijan's off the board, then I would go him. I would, but nothing other than that, It'd
be equally as exciting, I think, even with Gibbs. I mean, you could line him up anywhere on the field, and between his vision, and I think he's great. I think he'd fit really well.
Yeah. Now, Transfat David Super Chat, he goes, your Mod J is out of line. What Oh my God. What is going on with you guys? Hey, Jay, can you guys like chill? Like stop fighting? I don't know what's going on
We don't
in
got
there.
Cowboy fans in here. And
Come
we're
on
still
now.
fighting.
Jay Koch has been with me a long time.
Yeah.
And he's good. I don't know what's going on, but man, can you guys like just stop fighting?
It's getting real bad.
Yeah. At least let me get the ring set up, and then you guys could go box. We'll stream it here. But give me a break. I don't know what's going on. I can't see. I just see bits and pieces of F words flying around. But please, let's chill out. Can we chill? Let's see here. Let's see. Do not trade up for Carter. He has more baggage than a Samsonite. Well, that's the question. I mean, I don't know how the Eagles view him, but I have to think that because they have Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, they would love to get him. I just don't know if that's going to happen. You know what I mean?
It comes down to talking to the player. It comes down to there's probably so many teams that have called the school and have like talked to people on his what is he like during the season? Has he ever been in trouble? You know what I mean? Like little things. I don't know. I mean, they're getting behind the scenes of what Carter is all about, but I feel like it's getting. I feel like they're painting something different on him. Guys make mistakes, you know. I don't know. I don't. Of course, it's important because you don't want to draft a guy that's just going to be, in trouble every day. But
yeah,
I don't worry about it too much as everyone else does as much.
I don't either.
I really don't.
I do think that the Jordan Davis and the Kobe Dean factor, I do think that plays a giant part in this. I do. Big Chris is silly. You got a screen toward mods, Philly. Let me tell you, I mean, Jay Koch has been with me since like 2017.
Yeah.
And there's never been an issue. So I don't know what's going on. I want to give him the chance to figure it out. And but I mean, I don't know what's going on in there. So, but hopefully you guys can at least, for our sake, chill. And then we can set up the ring at a later date, No one, Dave or Super Chat. Oh, you're laughing. I have to read this quietly.
No, I'm reading something else.
Okay.
It's just getting really bad.
Oh, God. No one says, I would love to trade 30 and 94 and next year's second and try to move up in the teens to get Carter and Bijan. It's probably stupid, but I'd love it. You would love to trade 30 and 94 next year's second, try to move up in the teens. See, I don't think that's bad at all, but I don't think it would cost you that much. I think the 30th and a second round pick next year will get you into the late teens.
Yeah.
If you look at the draft chart, it should get you to about 15. So I think that they can do it with just those two things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just you guys, please, just yeah, Jay, just don't respond to them. Just all you guys, just everybody go to your separate corners. I feel like I'm babysitting here. Yeah, I just say set up a ring and let's have the Philly Shakedown mod boxing match. That would be awesome.
Oh my God.
Oh, you guys are crazy. Man. You guys.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, cut the bait shit. There's room. Yeah, no. Whoa, wait. What's now? Now I have to look and see what's being said. No bigot stuff. We don't do all that. I'm gonna have to go spend my whole evening now going back and watching what the hell happened. Right before the 10th pick, the first new kids, right? That's with our luck. Eagle Fair for I'm done. All love, 500. Thank you, man. I don't know. What are they upset about? Jay is upset because Bijan. This is insane. He likes Bijan. Well, I mean, look, we all like Bijan here. I'm glad he likes him. We says, Smitty, what's good? Yeah, what's good, Smitty? Yeah, I don't know. Yes, House Nelson. I can honestly say that there is a house divided right now in Eagles Nation between whether the Eagles should take Bijan Robinson or not. It is. I mean, I think most people think that they shouldn't. but there's a loud group of us. You know, Ike Reese is one of them. Jaws is one of them. A lot of people have come out and agree with us.
Are you going to showboat if they draft him? And for weeks on and like a week or two after that?
I promise I will be non-arrogant. I will be not cocky. When it happens and they draft Bijan, I'm gonna go like this.
I told you.
I'm gonna say that was a very interesting pick. And then I'm gonna say I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna go outside and start screaming and yelling.
Take my clothes off. Go outside.
And I'm gonna come back. You know.
Yeah.
Isaac says, I want best player available specifically on defense at 10 and then move up to 30, some extra picks and get Bijan, get them in. I would love that. But my only question is what if all the defensive good players are gone pretty much? Not all the good ones, but you know, like one guy, would you take Elijah Cansey at 10?
Probably not.
No.
It's tough because I feel like, and I know we're saying Bijan's name too much, but I'm sorry, but I think we're going to get more out of Bijan at 10 than we will get at Cansey at 10, just because Bijan has the easy route with already a good offense around him, and you're going to get production immediately. I think because of you got your DC right now and Sean Desai, you don't know what's going to go happen with this defense, how he's going to. I mean, we're hearing how he's going to use these players and what defense he runs, but we don't know what's going to happen on this tough schedule you have this year. You got a tough schedule. You got to put more points on the board. Mm-hmm. It's tough for me to put Cansey at 10. It really is.
I love Cansey, dude. I might have to do it. I mean, if I could trade back and do it, I would, but I really like Cansey. I think paired with Jordan Davis, his style, because I think he's going to be more of a pass rushing defensive tackle.
Right.
I think him and Jordan Davis would fit like a glove, and I think Jalen Carter too. I mean, I think ultimately the Eagles got to be thinking, geez, if we have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in the middle of that line for years, we are going to dominate. Dominant,
and they're like this, and they're like this. You know, you draft him plus Kobe Dean being here. I mean, that's a great pair.
Yeah, I agree. Tortiville says, I think it's offensive line with our first pick. This is at least the amount of offensive line depth we have had in the past 10 years. Our right guard is unsettled. I agree. I tend to agree that unless Jalen Carter is there or Will Anderson, I tend to think that that's going to be an offensive lineman. I really do, and. It just makes sense to me because they haven't used any of their resources on offense yet. They just haven't, you know. I think you're right. If we draft Bijan, we have to cut a running back. That is the least hardest thing for me to do.
No, but we're not. Who are we cutting?
Well, you don't have to cut anybody right away because you got camp coming and stuff. But I'm just saying, Trey Sermon, see you, buddy. Thank you for the 2 carries. We never used you anyways.
No, and I don't think even all the great things, even at the owners' meeting, Nick talked great things about Trey Sermon. He doesn't care about Trey Sermon. I mean, he only, like I said, like you said, he only used him 2 snaps. Like if they liked him that much, why didn't they at least dress him for a game? I mean. Yeah. Even what's his face? Who's the guy from Oklahoma? I always forget his name all the time. The guy from Oklahoma that we cut, that bruiser back, whatever. I forgot what his name was. He was another one that barely got opportunity because now he only have 2 preseason games. We're only seeing what we see at camp from what videos are shown. We don't see the whole entire joint practice, which Nick likes a lot better than preseason. He puts more value into joint practices than these 2 preseason games.
And I can't blame them because if you look at their overall health, it hasn't been bad. Brooks, yeah. They cut him and brought him back. Mm-hmm. Cansey mixed with Jordan Davis is a dangerous mix, but Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter would be even more. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And Jay Koch, for the record, says, I'm all for Bijan if he's as good as you say. I just want our Super Bowl. I think he is, and I think he's going to be very, very good. But my question is always with the way we're really approaching the running back situation. I don't really approach it as it's a running back. I don't think of it like we're going to draft running back. We're drafting running back. I think of it as we're going to draft a weapon. We're going to draft another weapon for Hurts. We're giving him another weapon. And this other weapon is going to not help us in 2 or 3 years, but immediately. And immediately means that, in my opinion, gives us a better chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's why I want him.
Yeah.
That's it. I would never take a running back. And you'll probably be another 25 years before I ever say, you have to take a running back. It's the situation and how everything is lined up to me that makes it just seem like it makes a lot of sense. But you have to get past what we're conditioned to hear. You don't draft a running back. They're undervalued. You don't do this. You don't do that. You've got to put that away and just think about it in terms of what makes us better instantly next year. Not exactly the same. You don't have to be built the same way, but built in a different way that makes you better. And that's when it works. Mars says, having Bijan on the team will protect our soon-to-be $50 million quarterback. I agree. Plus, if Jalen were to get injured in the next few years, it'd be nice and short to have Bijan focus on offense for a few games. I agree with you. And especially in those areas where, they always sneak in Jalen Hurts and they're pushing him. Eventually, you don't want the guy to get hurt. You don't want him. I don't think you want to keep running Jalen Hurts as much as you do. At some point, you have to cut it back, right? Or he's going to continue to get hurt and beat up.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Brandon, David Super Chat goes, will McNabb offer Bijan Robinson number 5? No, he won't. I can tell you McNabb won't. But I think Bijan should take 0 and then be agent 0. That would be cool. JP Martinez, David Super Chat goes, no apartment, but I could live in the condominium, he says. What? I'm so confused.
I have no idea.
Thank you for Super Chat. You must be having a conversation. Let's see. Nardo says, but I feel like if we don't get Carter, I think we're going to get that Skronowski.
Oh, we drafted Skronowski.
I love it. I like Skronowski now. Now, just because of that name. I wish that was his name. Dude, I would so draft him. But Dickerson and Skronowski. I think he's a pretty good player. But what I'm reading about him and what I've been reading that they say the scouts say is that they feel like he's more positioned to be a guard in this league than a tackle. So if the Eagles feel like he's a permanent guard, would they take a guard at 10? That's what I wanted to know.
If they have no faith in Cam Jurgens, then that's what they do. Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting. It would be interesting. Isaac says, I would take the other offensive lineman instead of Skorowski at 10. Paris Johnson Jr. is who I would take.
Skorfatsky.
Nobody can say his name. I did a thing like, one of those sound out things before I did a video on him, and it was saying Squansky. Now everybody laughs at me because I say Squansky. I'm like, that's what I thought it was.
Skorfatsky.
I like Paris Johnson too because because the thing with Paris Johnson is, okay, he's played guard before. Boom, he's playing guard, right guard. Lane Johnson retires. You just kick him out to right tackle.
Yeah, it's true. That's all you gotta do.
Let me see here. Hold on. Do I have a membership, or is that you?
I think it's me.
All right. I'll let you hit that. Pause.
We got Jay Koch, new member to the Shake Squad Captain Tier. Thank you so much for joining up, man. Thank you very much, dude.
Thank you, Jay. CECC Vet. Thank you for Super Chat. He goes, Howie is underrated at the draft and gets blamed for bad decisions that weren't 100% on him. The Rager pick is 70% Doug's fault. But if you look at the 2013 draft, Howie was phenomenal. So you think it was 57 was Doug's fault? I mean, I'm not going to argue. I don't know for that for a fact. I just remember the only thing I remember about the Rager thing was the reports that came out about how there was the analytic department and the scouting department, and they were fighting. and
Yeah.
the scouting department, would not. They overvalued analytics so much, especially early in the draft, that they would choose that over talent, and then they got away from that.
I don't think Doug was even involved in Rager being drafted, because I think someone asked him. I forgot who asked him, but someone, why'd you pick Rager over Justin Jefferson? He said you're looking at me, like, quote unquote, you're looking at me. Like, he didn't. I don't think he had anything to do with that pick. I think it was, like you said, I think it was both departments and like Howie trying to make that final decision. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We got about 400 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, hit that like. More importantly, make sure you subscribe. And if you guys still want to draft 5 hat, these, by the way, pre-orders end on Monday. So you have till Monday, and then we're going to basically, that'll be it. We will never see this one again.
Make sure you subscribe because we are going to draft 5.
There you go. Ooh, Joey's rapping. And thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Tyree had a question for you, Joey. Hey, Joey, would you trade back a future first-round pick and a 2023 second-round pick, then trade the 30th for Patrick Queen?
A future first, and a 23 second. So a second this year and a first next year. Then trade 30 to from the Ravens for Patrick. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of the Patrick. I know that, like, I guess they don't want to give him a new contract. I wouldn't mind him at all. I mean, it's not a horrible deal. I mean, we don't. I want to know what we're getting back besides Patrick Queen. It really depends on the other compensation, but I wouldn't mind him at all to see what he would look like in this room. I mean, I think they need to add another linebacker anyway, and he's only a $3.2 million cap hit this year, so they could, I don't want to give out draft capital to rent a player again. I'm kind of like tired of it a little bit, even though Howie likes to do stuff like that. With Robert Quinn for a 4th round didn't work out, and obviously Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for 2 picks, so he couldn't get it done. I wouldn't mind it, but it just depends on what he wants in a long-term deal, because he's gonna be looking for it after this year. So
yeah, but is he saying you'd have to give up all those picks, including the 30th, to get Queen? Is that
yeah, I think so.
I wouldn't give more than a 3rd round pick.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Fetter, David Super Chat. He goes, you go on Cilio and you have more viewers than him. Laugh out loud. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Shut up, dog.
Whose dog is that?
It's neighbors across the street. Every time I open the window, the dog starts barking at me. Witch King says, I would rather take another quarterback at 10 than take Van Ness. What do you think? I mean, like, did you see the amount of mock drafts that have Van Ness going to us at 10?
A lot of them. Yeah.
I'm really shocked by that, dude. Do you think they really like it?
As a situational guy, like at 10, he's a situational edge rusher. Like, that's it.
I just don't understand that at all.
It's too much.
I don't get it.
I'd take Nolan Smith over him at 10 if you had to force me.
I like Nolan Smith. I just think that you could get him later.
Right.
But I would take. There's no way I would take Van Ness over Kalijah Cansey.
I've seen Van Ness and Skoronski. I've seen both of them going to the Eagles. Like, Mel Kiper's weird too, because I don't even watch him really, because he's at this point, like, he has the most ridiculous mock drafts, like, that make absolutely no sense.
Mel Kiper?
Yeah.
Who the hell's Mel Kiper? Remember that from the draft? Back. It was
the fight that happened.
The Colts back in the day.
Yeah.
They drafted I
forgot who it was.
What you call it, and I forget. I think they drafted Jeff George. I think it was Jeff George, and Mel Kiper trashed them. And then Polian, the GM, comes on. And he's like, "Who the hell is Mel Kiper?" Paul Fetter, a member for 11 months of Dingbat Nation, by the way, he says, "Phil, you're gonna tape breakdown shows before the draft." Yeah, I'd like to do something, some stuff like that as we get closer. It just seems like YouTube it gets so oversaturated with everybody doing those things that it's like, it's like, I don't know, I don't feel like doing them, but I mean, it's something we could do. Let me see here. Jay Koch, become a member. I think that was yours, right?
Yes.
Philosophobic. David Super Chat goes, I like the safety of Georgia, Christopher Smith. I like I like the was it Kylie Ringo? Like, to me, I want him as a safety.
Like second round?
Yeah, if he's there. Transfat David Super Chat goes, I just found out I subbed to you in August 11th, 2017. Wow. So that's right before David Super. That's right. That's the year of the Super Bowl run.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Super Bowl run. That was crazy. That's awesome. Justice, my only problem with drafting Carter is that I don't want another Rager with head problems. Yeah, I don't. I see. That's something that the Eagles have to figure out. They have to do their homework on. All we can do is, if they do draft him, the Eagles are just going to have to trust. We're going to have to trust that they did their due diligence. We just don't know. That could be a problem, but if here's the thing though, if that is not hanging over his head, there's no way he gets to 10. It may be the only, that question mark may be the one we have to live with.
I don't even think you could compare the Rager thing. I mean, you can, but like, I think you just have a guy that has natural talent. Like Rager, I think what really affected him was obviously he wasn't talented. Number two, he was I've never seen a soft player in my life as soft as him. Like, he was so distraught and he would block people on. I'm even blocked. I got blocked. It was pretty bad. Like it was horrible.
Let me ask you a question. This is going to sound bad. Maybe this is bad, but somebody said this to me, and I was thinking about this, and I was wondering. They were saying, never draft a football player's child or son. Somebody who made a lot of money and grew up rich and not ever having to do anything because they don't know what the struggle's like. Do you believe something like that? Do you think that's real?
Not in every player. I wouldn't say for everybody, but I would say when you're born into money and born into that's what the thing with Rager too, because your father played in the NFL and it's didn't he teach you how to deal with fans, media, how to carry yourself? You take classes for this shit when you get to the NFL, how to handle the media and all that stuff. I mean, you kind of surely have to know before you get there, but you would have thought there was some maturity there when things don't go your way or you mess up on a catch but it just got worse. I don't think it's for every player. I think
it's not. I agree. Somebody said that to me, and I was thinking about it, but I do think it's individual because you could take Porter Jr., right? Porter Jr. looks like he's ready to go. He looks like he's going to be good. And his father
Asante Samuel Jr.
Asante Samuel Jr., right. Exactly. So it's individual. And then you have, of course, the Mannings with their father was a quarterback, and they, so it just depends on the player. Philosophobic. Thank you for super chat. He goes, the edge rusher had crazy combine numbers. Yeah, well, we talked about him earlier. The Eagles may be interested in him at 30. I think I would have no problem with that pick whatsoever. Okay. However, if they did take him at 30, I think that points to offensive lineman at 10. Or I shouldn't say offense. I will say offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Collins says, Philly, please read this. I saw Carter at 10, O-line at 30, and in the second round, we take Keaton Mitchell, absolute stud. I could see that situation playing out.
Yeah.
I could totally see it. I think if Carter's there, I think if Carter gets to 8, I think if Carter gets to 7, I think the Eagles are going to try to make a play for him. I do. I do.
They'll tempt you. They'll tempt it.
Let's see. David Super Chat goes, bold prediction. Carter to Houston at 2, and Bijan gets drafted back to his home state. He is from Arizona. So the Cardinals take him at 3? Wow, that would be crazy. Now there have been reports that Arizona, but Houston is not all that intrigued with all the quarterbacks after Young. And if Young was off the board, they may take Will Anderson Jr. at 2. If they take Will Anderson Jr. too, that's going to upend a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's no chance Carter gets close to us.
Yeah, I think there's a big shot, especially with what's his face there now. So you have a defensive head coach that really, I think I don't think they're intrigued in a lot of these quarterbacks. I know they need one, but I don't think they are. A lot of Will Anderson talk lately going to Houston, a lot, and like I said, the Cardinals as well. But there's teams out there like Raiders, Tennessee, Patriots, Mac Jones might be on the trade block, whatever the case may be. Teams want to move up into the top 10 for a quarterback. There could be some teams trying to move up as well. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Daniel David Super Chat goes, Van Ness couldn't start at Iowa. Why the hell will we draft him at 10? I don't know. I mean, he had a great combine, right? That's what it is. He's a combine warrior. Is that why he shot up?
Who is
Van Ness? I mean, I don't get why people want to take him at 10.
It's too early.
It's way too early. But when I see people saying the Eagles are going to take him at 10, and you see a lot of people saying that tells me that they have no idea what the Eagles are going to do at 10. Like to me, that's the thing. The Eagles have been really, really quiet, Joey. They have been unusually quiet.
Yeah.
So I think anything is possible with the Eagles.
Yeah. I think they're working on they're working either a trade up, a trade back. They're working on something. So
Francis, check my last message. If I can find it here. Okay, here you go. Francis, I heard from Dorial Green Beckham that Josh Huff is coming back. Josh Huff? Where's Josh Huff been?
I don't know.
Does he even play anymore?
No.
That's funny. Well, we'll see. We'll see if you're right. We'll see if you're right. JJ, a member for 33 months of tinfoil dingbats. Thank you so much, man. He goes, Van Ness isn't even the best player at Iowa. Caitlin Clark is 100%. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I don't want Van Ness. That Van Ness pick will piss me off, Joey. That's one pick that I will flip out about.
Yeah.
It will. Just kidding. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, I mean, is there any I don't know, is there anything else we're missing we haven't covered? We talked Buda Baker, we talked about possibilities in the draft. I mean, it's kind of just quiet right now, really.
So we have 2 weeks? So we have
under 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, once we get into the week of the draft, things will start to spice up a little bit more. Probably we'll find out some more rumors what the Eagles are doing. There's going to be speculation of. We're going to find out here. The Eagles got they have over $20 million, $21 million in cap space right now. They're not really touching it. I feel like they're done. I feel like they're 100% focused on the draft right now. I mean, they're seeing who's available out there. But here's the weird thing right now. Got to look at defensive end right now. If they don't draft a defensive end in the first round, you still have guys out there. Yannick Ngakoue, Frank Clark, Leonard Floyd. You got a lot of guys on the edge still. You got a lot of guys still out there right now.
Yeah.
So interesting enough, after the draft, could make a veteran move. See what we have left.
Yeah, and you're gonna have you'll even have some cuts post June 1st too. So things will happen from the free agency part, but I think it's really been quiet, extra quiet in terms of what the Eagles are looking at this draft. My guess is that Jalen Carter is the guy that they want, but I also say that I think that Bijan is more in play than people think. I'm not saying it's likely. I still don't. I think the percentage is against us. I do think that they're more interested in him than people think they are.
Right.
Torteville Daver Super Chat goes, I think I made a mod angry with the Van Ness comment. I got timed out after that. You should never get timed out. So,
no.
First of all, I don't know why you're not a mod. You should be a mod. You've been with me how long? So, we modded you up. I see Esmery DeBooth is here. What's up? I just see you now for the first time. Black Lion is here. I just saw you for the first time. Because how you guys feel about, I can never say this guy's name. I'll take Bijan at 10 and him at 30. Yeah, we'll say AA.
That'd be perfect.
talked about him. We talked about him earlier. We really like him. A lot of upside. And if he's at 30 and they're really going to take him. You got to take offense at 10. I Bijan Robinson's pick. Like, oh, man. God, I want that guy. Draft 5, baby. Draft 5.
You got it.
God, this offense would be so scary. It will be scary. I even have Cowboy fans, and this is the truth. I have literal Cowboy fans that DM me. And be like, Philly, I'm a Cowboy fan. I watch your channel. I just want to tell you straight up, if the Eagles get Bijan, it's going to scare the hell out of us. We hope you do not. You guys don't do it. Like, they know. They know.
It's going to be really scary. Really scary.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, we're an hour and 15 minutes in on this beautiful Saturday. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to get your Draft 5 hat, you still have time to pre-order them. Cutoff is Monday, and then these will be retired into hopefully the special limited edition before Bijan was an Eagle. But also click the link in the description if you're on my channel. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes. And yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else, man, left to say? Really?
I think that's it. Like I said, it's been really quiet. So we're hearing like buzz about like some free. There's really nothing. They're really quiet right now, and I think once we wait like another week, I think things are gonna start to spice up a little bit. So
yeah, I think it's a quiet. March was incredibly insane.
It was.
So it was just like
busy.
So I think this is like only natural that you're gonna get this kind of like a little lull, where we'll take a deep breath. But what we're gonna get, probably heading into next week is you're gonna start hearing the rumors. Like, the Eagles are really interested in Bijan. The Eagles really love Carter. The Eagles really love Van Ness, so we're all gonna lose our mind, But I think most of those kind of rumors, we got to take with a grain of salt.
It's not even like I'm into the whole thing of like I'm afraid of what Howie's going to draft. I don't think he'll make the wrong pick at all. Like that's just one of these drafts I'm not worried about. Like the past couple of years have been a complete 180 since like 2 seasons ago. So it's not really bad. We have our guys that we want. We have our favorite guy that we want. And if we don't get him, like we're not going to be like, screw Howie Roseman. No. We just have a guy that we want.
No, because people keep saying to me, "You're going to be disappointed." I'm like, no, because I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting it. I'm just telling you what I think they should do.
Yeah,
but I don't expect it.
But I'm telling you right now, if the Eagles draft Bijan Robinson at 10, we're gonna go off.
I am not going off. I am going to sit there. I am going to sit there like this. I'm going to say. Well, that was a very interesting pick, Joey. Excuse me for a second. I'll be back.
All hell's gonna break loose if that happens. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get really bad.
We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good. Anyways, guys, we'll see. You acting like the Bijan will be on the field every play. He won't be on the field every play, but he will be a 3-down back though. I think that's a great thing. I don't think it's telling me. But
if you want to keep Rashad Penny healthy and you want to utilize all these backs and have like probably a better backfield than 2017, right, you can get that here. And why not take advantage of, don't just take advantage of it. Even if you want to move Scott to full-time at special teams and, you don't want to use, you don't want to use 4 backs in a game, but utilize these guys the right way, and you can get a lot of production with more.
And I'll worry about the second contract in 5 years.
Yeah, I
ain't gonna worry about that right now. I'll worry about that in 5 years. I want to go win a Super Bowl, but I think Bijan would instantly put the Eagles. I think he puts them back in the Super Bowl. That's what I think of. Like, but we'll see. We'll see. That's just my opinion. So. We will see. Mike says, Eagles are drafting Rashawn Johnson. Book it. I like him, too. We talked about him earlier. I'm okay with that. With that. Not in the first or second round. It'd have to be in the mid-rounds. But, I like him, But we'll see what happens. But, no, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
And, man, with that, we'll let the Cowboy fans take us out. And Jay Koch and you guys, man, hug it out. Hug it out, baby. Hug it out. I don't know what's going on there. Hug it out. We love yous. We all bleed green at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
We'll see you guys later.
We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
got
me.
to kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What you doing?
running from
What you doing?
To get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had no time for one more
He
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
Away, but, you know, this is just,
The brother screwed us.
you know, I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it is what it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah,
in that way.
you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way.